The rise and fall of empires, one in the UK and one in the US. I'm your girl Chaya, and as always, I am here to break it down. Obviously, it's everywhere. Every news outlet, every social media platform, everybody's talking about the fact that Queen Elizabeth has died. Now, Black Twitter has been, Black and Irish Twitter. I didn't even know that there was an Irish Twitter, but shout out to Irish Twitter. How y'all doing? Colonialism in Ireland is, they ain't really feeling Queen Elizabeth. So they literally was heckling her at a game. That's not the story that I'm talking about. I'm talking about the shade that the UK media and some of these Brits is trying to throw at Meghan Markle. And as M'Baku in Black Panther said when he confronted T'Challa, we will not have it.
We will not have it.
These motherfuckers, when she was going out there to people and shaking hands, they were trying to throw her shade. They were trying to throw her shade for telling her truth. Now, what you won't do is throw shade at Meghan. Okay, that's what you won't do. Okay. Now, I'm sorry that Prince William and Prince Harry have lost their grandmother. I am. Losing a loved one is hard. I truly am. I empathize, for that. They lost their grandmother and they also lost their grandfather. So losing a loved one is never easy. So for that, I am sorry. But because of the fact that the Queen Elizabeth, the longest reigning queen of Britain, she represents a lot when it comes to colonialism within the globe. Well, she was still wearing stolen diamonds from Africa in her crown. There's still stolen riches in Britain's possession as we speak. There's still so much that they're responsible for and that they literally have to deal with. King Charles is over here acting a fool over a pen leaking.
12.
13, sir.
Oh God, I'm wrong date. 13.
Yes, sir.
You said 12 earlier.
Where did I go to? I was something 10. Oh God, I hate this.
Oh look, it's going everywhere. Hang on. So nobody got it wrong.
Where is the map?
Oh look, it's everywhere.
Oh, there is bloody thing. What are they doing? Everyone's stinking.
And this is your king? This is your king. And all Britain's tabloids and media, all they're doing is villainizing Meghan instead of the one that actually colonized countries. And you're villainizing one person that actually called out racism within a monarchy. Like, come on. Let's get serious now. Let's really get serious. Meghan ain't start that, but there is evidence of racism, colonialism, pillaging, rape, thievery, murder, you name it, that is under the lineage of Queen Elizabeth. Now erase the white part and let's get to the crux of it all. She ain't lily white. She ain't without blemish. Her Majesty got a lot that she is responsible for that y'all just ain't want to talk about. And the fact that all of this pomp and circumstance is being done in her death, that is being paid for with money that has been used or got ill-gotten from colonialism, Like, talk about that part. But leave Meghan alone. You will not have it. Leave Meghan alone. Period, point blank. Mourn your grandma, but leave Meghan alone. Okay? She's trying to be there for her husband who lost his grandmother. But let's not get it twisted to all of the stuff they done covered up. Let's not forget about Prince Andrew and his little pedophilian self. Let's not forget what they did to Princess Di, the one we loved. We love you, Meghan. Anyway, on to the downfall of another empire, the Kardashians. Now, Ray J is trying to get revenge. Ray J is retaliating. Pun intended everywhere, okay? I'm telling you. Ray, I was actually on the live that he did the other day, okay? Ray J was on a live and Ray J was doing the draw 4, the draw 2, the reverse, the wild, the skip. He had all the cards. Like, he was ready. And I was on the live while he was live like this. I was ear hustling. I was like, huh? Like, I was so here for it. I was ready. Like, I was just waiting. Like, I was soaking it up. Whatever he was saying. Okay. So I caught it in real time. And when I say that he gave me my entire life on that live. Okay. I didn't realize he had so many receipts. And Ray said, I am not here to play. And Ray had one wish, and that wish was to have a projector and to turn that phone around and to show the writing of Kim Kardashian and how she signed his name and how Kris saw the first take that they did of the sex tape and was just like, she didn't feel that it showed Kim in the right light. So she had them do 2 more takes. And then on top of the 2 more takes, Kim filled out all the paperwork and then tried to make it seem as if Ray was the one that took advantage and the tape was like somebody just slipped the tape out there and put the tape out there unbeknownst to them and she was taken advantage of. When all the while, this was a strategic effort for her to get the notoriety. And they initially signed the contract and made $400,000. Ray J, he mentioned Steve Hirsch a few times. He's a Vivid Entertainment head honcho. And he put out receipts from an email. He said that the sex tape was a success right out the gate, and it made more than $1 million within the first 6 weeks after its release. So, according to according to an email to Kim from Steve, it says, here's the first statement, 1.4 million in sales. I think that's pretty good. All backup is available by customer pricing, etc. So it says in Ray J's contract that the tape 1 was in Cabo, tape 2 was in Cabo, and then tape 3, it was a little scratched out and that it was in Santa. So Ray J said over the weekend that Kim actually signed on from the get-go and even produced his contract with a list of the sex tapes, saying Kim wrote the inventory list. He also produced a letter from her and says it has the exact same handwriting, and it does. The E's are the same, the I's are the same. And Hirsch has openly talked about the deal in the past, calling it a difficult deal to get done because he says Kim truly did not want the tape out. Ray J says their deal was that each would receive 400,000 plus 12.5% of the profits. Those figures are reflected in Hirsch's email to Kim and Ray J. Ray also claims that Kris Jenner actually looked at both sex tapes and chose the one where Kim looked the best. So Ray J also says that he has hundreds of other receipts to back up his claim. He also went on to tear after Kris took a lie detector test that says she proved that she was not involved in the sale of the tape. He was just like, she did a bogus. She hired a bogus lie detector person, and that it was all staged. So, it started because Kim, Ray J was just like he getting out the guns, and not literal guns, but he's going to sue Kim, for suggesting that, he may have stuck something up her butt while she was sleeping, that he, like assaulted her. So Ray, after seeing the episode, he's just like, it's all out an outrageous lie to suggest that he sexually assaulted Kim, and that he's seriously considering a defamation lawsuit. It's real weird. It's real weird. And Ray J also exposed text messages between him and Kanye. He had conversations with Kanye about the situation. It's real. But when I say that an empire, was being taken down, I mean, because the Kardashians have built this empire on vanity. You know what I'm saying? They literally came on the scene because of the body. And look at me, look at how pretty I am, look at selfie, and that's all it was about. And I really feel like they're the Antichrist. You know what I'm saying? And I say that with all seriousness. You know what I mean? Because it's all about vanity, 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 how I look. And not about anything that has to do with anything of substance. You know what I mean? Now, the fact that Kim all of a sudden started doing law, praise God. But before that, it was all about body, face, and being vain, and about how you look and what you look like and what you wear. It had nothing to do with any depth. It had nothing to do with any talent or any gifts that you have been given from God, or, it was all about how you looked and how you can morph yourself to look like something different. Because I always would say in any shows that we used to do, what Kim used to look like and how Kim looks now is night and day. What Kylie looked like, what Kylie looks like now, night and day. Same thing with all the other siblings, with the exception of Kendall. Everybody else looks totally different, including the mama. So, I mean, you got on the scene, right? They have literally got on off the backs of black men. I'm not speaking no lies. They got off the backs of black men because she was cool with Paris. She was best friends with Paris. Her father was a Kardashian and was repping OJ. They didn't get famous off of that. They got notoriety off of that. They got into the circles off of that. But you didn't get famous until you was laying down with a brother. And that's how you got your notoriety. Hello. Goodbye. So, all fall down, all fall down, all fall down. Remember, it was a whole situation with Brandy? And could this be the end of the Kardashian empire that they've built off of lies and vanity? You can't pay everybody off. You can't appropriate everything we do. Just saying. That one video that came out from when I was a young tenderoni with Robert Sylvester Kelly. He has finally been sentenced to 30 years. Robert Kelly was convicted of multiple child pornography charges at a Chicago federal trial and acquitted on others. So Kelly was convicted on 4 counts of production of child pornography and 3 of 5 counts of enticement of a minor to engage in criminal sexual activity. He was acquitted on 1 count each of conspiracy to obstruct justice and conspiracy to receive child pornography, as well as 2 counts of receiving child pornography. So Jennifer Bongine, Kelly's attorney, said her client had a sense of relief that this case is now behind him and felt that prosecutors had overblown their case against him. Bongine said she is considering filing an appeal. If this jury concluded that he was guilty on the first 3 counts, would they care enough to consider the evidence on the rest? And they demonstrated that they did their job. They looked at each count separately, Bongine said outside court following the verdict. Jurors deliberated for about 10 hours after listening to the 3 weeks worth of testimony, including from one woman who testified anonymously that Kelly sexually abused her and recorded the interactions when she was as young as 14. The woman was one of 5 minors who prosecutors allege Kelly sexually abused in the late 1990s by making explicit videos with 4 of them. 2 of Kelly's former associates acquitted. Kelly's co-defendants Daryl McDavid and Milton Brown were acquitted of all charges they faced. Which I don't know why, because if you was running with him and you was seeing all of this stuff going on and you wasn't stopping it, you need to go down some way, somehow. That's all I'm saying. McDavid, Kelly's former accountant and business manager, was charged with conspiracy to receive child pornography, receiving child pornography, and conspiracy to obstruct justice. Brown, Kelly's former assistant, was charged with conspiracy to receive child pornography. Both pleaded not guilty. Vadim Glozman and Beau Brindley, attorneys for McDavid, praised the verdict in a statement to CNN. The jury found what we knew all along. The government bought a case that should never have been bought. It was based on the word of proven liars, the attorney said. We exposed them in front of the jury, and the jury made the right decision. So one of the witnesses in the trial, a 37-year-old woman, spoke in federal court under the pseudonym Jane and testified that Kelly began engaging in sex acts with her when she was 14 and had sexual intercourse with her when she was 15. They had sex hundreds of times before she turned 18, she said. Jane testified she met Kelly through her aunt, Sparkle. So this was Sparkle's niece. And remember, Sparkle said that in the Surviving R. Kelly documentary that they had stopped talking to her, that the whole family had stopped talking to her because of the fact that she had came forward, and they was just like, no, we had settled out of court and we ain't doing this. This is what it is. And we're not going to say nothing. So why are you saying anything? Just let it rock, because we're not saying anything. But it was true the entire time. So Sparkle wasn't lying. And if you don't know who Sparkle was, she was one of R. Kelly's artists that did that song, You Better Be Careful. Be careful what you do to me. It might turn around on you. Yeah, that was her. But she was also in the Surviving R. Kelly documentary. Plot thickens. Anyway, Jane testified she met Kelly through her aunt Sparkle, who worked with R. Kelly and had a romantic relationship with him. Jane was 12 or 13 when she met the singer. At the time, Jane traveled the world with a Christian hip-hop group whose members were cousins of hers. Prosecutors asked her not to name the group in order to protect her identity. Shortly after they met, Jane said she began spending more time with Kelly and Sparkle. and she would watch Kelly and Sparkle record music and talk about basketball and music with Kelly. Jane testified she was 13 when Sparkle suggested Jane should ask Kelly to play a bigger role in her life. Jane testified that Kelly became her godfather, at which point her parents felt comfortable letting her stay the night or even the weekend at his home without her parents or aunt present. That is the key. That's that part that a lot of us don't want to accept. A lot of these parents, even though they knew about the whole Aaliyah thing, about the mumblings, they still allowed him to be alone with her, knowing, okay, they would pretty much drop me off and then leave, Jane testified. Jane said she was 14 when her relationship with Kelly became sexual, and then she lost her virginity to him when she was 15. So if she was 14 when her relationship became sexual, you do the math. You can pretty much put 2 and 2 together. When the Illinois Department of Children and Family Services began investigating an allegation Kelly was having a sexual relationship with Jane in April 2000 when she was 15, Jane testified that she denied the relationship. She also testified she later denied to Chicago police investigators she and Kelly had a sexual relationship. Jane, her parents, and Kelly met for a meeting when reports began surfacing in 2002 about the existence of a tape showing the pair engaged in sex acts. She said Kelly admitted to them he was having a sexual relationship with their daughter. Jane and her father received subpoenas to testify before a grand jury in 2002. Jane testified that prior to appearing before the grand jury, she had a conversation with Kelly about loyalty and denying our relationship and the sex tape. Jane testified she lied to a grand jury in 2002 when she denied having a sexual relationship and appearing in the sex videos with the singer. So just think about it this way. Her father was in her life. Her mother was in her life. Good. I'm done. I'm done. But anyway, he has been found guilty on 3 counts. In regards to that case with Sparkle's niece, that Sparkle was saying it's true, but the family was like, nope, no, it ain't. And then after that Surviving R. Kelly document, they were just like, you know what? It is true. Unfortunately, 20 years passed. 2002, it's 2022. Anyway, a long line of just brokenness and trauma, unnecessary trauma, you know, with kids, with our young women, you know, unfortunately, like time that can't be replaced, because that's one thing you can't get back. You can't get back time. 20 years of lies, deceit, you know, and therapy that needed to get got, you know, but I hope that she gets peace, because you grew up way too early, sis. Unfortunately. But anyway, we got to do better. We got to do better. Fame and fortune and you getting a couple of dollars as a payoff is not always what's going, like, your kid should mean more to you than that. Sir, ma'am, they said they subpoenaed the father. As a man, it is your role, it is your duty to protect your little girl. Where they do that at? Sucker MC.
You sucker MC.
Listen. Now I won't lie to you. R. Kelly as an artist, as a writer. Some of the songs that he has written has been just it's been amazing. But as a man, you suck. You suck. 14? And let me be honest with you. Let me be very honest with you. When I was 14 years old, when I was 15 years old, there were men that tried to get in my pants. Grown men. There were grown men in the church, ministers, that tried to get in my pants. Ministers, men of God, reverends that tried to get in my pants. So I'm not looking down my nose at R. Kelly like, oh my God, how could he? Because I've seen this on every level. So I know it happens. But I ain't had my father in my life. I didn't. But Jane had hers, and he didn't protect her. So shame on you, Jane's dad. Shame on you, dropping her off with a grown man. Because that's her godfather. I got boys, and I ain't never just dropped my son off with another dude. Ever. Y'all don't just drop your kids off with just random people. You don't just drop your kids off. You don't just trust people with your children. Like, what is wrong with y'all? You just have like a string of just wounded people. Just out here, wounded people. Just hurt people. And then you just have a generation of hurt people and then just giving birth to another generation of more hurt people. Get your life together. Get your life entirely together. I'm done. I love you. As always, I'm here to break it down. I'm Chaya, the Melanin Maven. Don't forget to subscribe. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram and the Melanin Movement Instagram as well. Until next time.